people who have been discriminated, people who have been stripped bare from their own nationalism. And this was the reaction. Following this reaction, you also have political party like the John Fru Ndi, and this is very crucial that our people should understand, because looking from hindsight, there is a lot of things you can learn from what is going on. John Fru Ndi, from the last presentation I did, you saw how John Fru Ndi, when the population was alerted by our representative of the civil society who were in negotiation and dialogue with La Republique in upstation Bamenda. And everybody they were burning towns in Bamenda, burning the Cameroon military facilities, and the whole town was rising up because we were notified that our civil society leaders, Tassang Wilfred, and all of the rest, Harmony Bokba, who were in negotiation with La Republique, they had refused that they cannot go back home. They were holding them to take bribes and to compromise their stance and to divide and not to negotiate as one people from one territory or people reflecting what they call Anglophones. Because of that pressure, Fru Ndi went there, as you saw the last video, and what did Fru Ndi did? He came out to deceive the population and tell them that nothing was happening, everything was good. And you had the other person who came there as well, who is Muna Ben Muna. He said it clearly that the people have the right to fight, the youth should fight. So you can see two different angles of people presenting the same problem. But we are very sure about what was the demand of the lawyers and the teachers, because it was very clear from their placards and their articulation and the letters that they have written out and those that they have sent to Cameroon as a state. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take you to Fru Ndi, when Fru Ndi came in with the SDF to participate and to help the population, which is what every political party is supposed to do, or the so-called elites are supposed to do. They are supposed to be able to speak on behalf of the population, to address the media, address the international community about what is going on. John Fru Ndi, who present himself as a political leader of the opposition party, and his SDF, they came into the mix.
Grievances presented to the government by common law lawyers and teachers. Chairman John Fru Ndi, just like the Vice President of the National Assembly, Honorable Joseph Bandam, and others, made it clear that the government must promote dialogue, peace and justice in Cameroon by fully respecting and implementing the 1996 Constitution, which protects the bijura, bicultural, and lingual nature of Cameroon.
So I want you to pay attention. The people were protesting and demanding for what? Two-state federation or independence for Ambazonia, outright separation. Now, at this stage, the Cameroon government had forbidden and banned all public protests in Ambazonia. But somehow they allowed Fru Ndi and the SDF parliamentarians to come and carry out this protest, which they started in Bamenda, and then now they took it to Bamenda, to Buea. And listen to what they were advocating for. Very different from what the people are saying, and also very different from what the SDF and Fru Ndi is claiming it is the political proposition of the SDF as a solution for all the problems that are being solved. Remember that John Fru Ndi, in all his interview, he says that the SDF is standing for federation, whether it is 10-state federation or whatever. But that is not what he was campaigning on the street, because he's a double agent representing the interests of Cameroon. That is why he was allowed to have a public demonstration even when demonstrations were banned, because he represents La Republique du Cameroon. And it is crucial that you know this fact, because coming March, these same people who disguise and mask themselves as politicians or opposition party will be coming and will be hired to come to our people through media or even in person in armored cars to deceive them that they have their interests at heart. Fru Ndi, despite the demand of the lawyers, despite the demands of the teachers, despite the demands of the students, even when they carry it on placard in front of him, did not come to preach and demand the federation he claims the SDF stands for, but he came to speak the mind of Mr. Paul Biya. Listen to this report, courtesy of CRTV once more.
Respecting and implementing the 1996 Constitution, which protects the bijura and others, made it clear that the government must promote dialogue, peace and justice in Cameroon by fully respecting and implementing the 1996 Constitution, which protects the bijura, bicultural, and lingual nature of Cameroon.
So the 1996 Constitution that Fru Ndi and Bandam were actually pushing was what Paul Biya is pushing, which is decentralization. Something that the SDF officially is against. But that is what Fru Ndi and Bandam were pushing. This is to tell you that these are mouthpiece of La République du Cameroon. And the handshake between Paul Biya and Fru Ndi should tell the Ambazonian people who Fru Ndi is. He speaks for Paul Biya. He acts for Paul Biya. His party have become an extension of Paul Biya's hand. Their rule as so-called opposition parties are just a charade. Behind them, they are rotten politicians that have received money and sell their conscience to speak for the butchers of our people. Let's continue with this video.
Chairman John Fru Ndi said there is absolutely no way that the Anglo-Saxon system of education can be adulterated under the platter of national integration.
We want the government to listen to the teachers and listen to the lawyers and do what they want them to do. Because they are not just talking out of the air, they are talking out of tested and proven methods of teaching, tested and proven methods of practicing the law.
As the various
So Fru Ndi, who is claiming to say that the Cameroon government should listen to the teachers and lawyers because they are speaking from experience and should do what they want them to do. What did the teachers and the lawyers want the Cameroon government to do? Is to agree for a two-state federation or an outright independence for Ambazonia. But what Fru Ndi was proposing, was preaching to the people, was about the 1996 constitution that has no federation, no independence for Ambazonia, not even 10-state federation, but decentralization as advocated by Paul Biya. That should be telling to the Ambazonian people.
mounted the podium, chanting youths and SDF supporters in Boy.
From the podium, this is the placards carried by the Ambazonian citizens who were in Boya. Ambazonian must be free. So you can see a disconnect between those who claim to be opposition party, those who were trying to hijack that platform to come and speak and represent themselves as though they were speaking on behalf of the people, Ambazonians, and everybody who is watching me. John Fru Ndi and all those so-called opposition, they do not speak for the people. They do not even reflect what the people want, or neither do they reflect what the civil society or people with settled mind have thought is what the people want. They are out of touch. They are agents of La République and they speak for nobody but Paul Biya himself. These placards and these are all evidence that you can see from yourself, and courtesy to CRTV. The evidence is there for everybody to see.
Brandished several placards stating that the law of justice, peace, basic freedoms and liberties